in college, I did so many of these activities that I never captured in a system. And then I went back later and I was like, oh, what are all the things that I finished? And then and this is that whole point. Like, so in this particular box, right? Like, and I would, you could do it your own way, but I would encourage you to start doing this. So here I have academic talks. And then if you open it, so based on the year, right here's a file named talks. I don't know if you can see that.
I see it.
And then each talk, so 2018 AMATIC conference, I gave a talk at that one. They're all done by date, right? So like 2013-09 Sac City Methods of Teaching Math Conference, December 2017 Eigenvalue, and I just put all of the stuff that like literally if you were to open any of these, it has the conference. So I have a certificate from the conference, I got the program from the conference, I have the directions on how to get there, the ticket to get in, the conference handout, right? They're all in order so that if I ever want to reference it later, right? Mm-hmm. And then I've got the same thing. There's conferences that I attend, but I don't give a talk at. And I know later in life, I might want to reference those documents. So same thing, I do it by date that I attended, right? So 2020, obviously I haven't attended those conferences, but I'm starting to shop. I'm like a shark in the water, right? Mm-hmm. So I have one on June 12th and 13th. I have another one on June 8th through 12th. I don't know if I'm going to be able to attend both, but I already did a bunch of research. I printed out the programs, so they're just sitting there waiting for me, right? So that when I have to make the decision, I can go immediately to that document. Mm-hmm. And then previous ones, I have all I just literally keep them by date, by year, so that if I go back to it. Some conferences are super powerful. Right? So like this conference, I actually uploaded, I'll show that in just a second in this. Hopefully Steve will have a chance to watch this. This conference was really, really cool. In fact, if you look at the thickness of this thing, that's not going to fit in one of those folders. And I refer back to this multiple times a year, right? So in the situation where it's more than just a one-off conference, like most of these things, like I attend, I get some little idea from it, I bring that idea into my classroom, and then I'm done, right? I don't have to go back and reference that. And if I do, I have all the material that I need right at my fingertips. But sometimes I want to turn it into like a book. And so in that situation, I create like a conference binder. I label it by the date, I put my name on the front in case I forget it, right? And then now this document serves as an open, like I go, anytime I want to go back to those ideas, I just open this document, it's on the appropriate folder. And the reason that I say this is that you're now in the space, Henry, and I think Steve is going to get here pretty soon as well, right? Like I haven't talked as much about Steve about this idea, but I certainly see he has systems that I want to incorporate in my own life, right? Because the guy's just he's beast mode, right? Like no matter what, he 7 times down, 13 times up, that guy. Like it's just so beautiful. But you guys are in this space where you're starting to be very, very professionally productive. And if we think about the difference between ROM and RAM, right? On a daily basis, we're in random access memory. So we go to these conferences, we present, we have all these things. And then when I was younger, that was the end of it. I would as soon as that was done, I'd wipe it clean. Maybe I'd keep the stuff around my house, but I'd put it randomly in spaces. Mm-hmm. 4 years down the line, I got really upset with myself because there were ideas, like just a week and a half ago, I was talking with somebody about a conference that I attended in, it was probably February 2006 in my undergraduate degree. Wow. And I remember a document from that conference that was really, really helpful in the way that I thought about emotional pain. But if I were to go back and try to find that document today, I'd be screwed because I didn't have what you might call a sophisticated system of capture. I know that I kept that document, but if you were to ask me where it was, I mean, I have no idea, right? Right. And as you guys are developing, one of the things that I would really kind of push for and hope for you, because of the mistakes that I made, was that we start to get you guys to create a system by which you can capture those documents in the appropriate places. And for the stuff that you actually do presentation-wise, like even if you don't put that on a CV, like that experience that you had yesterday, mm-hmm. CV is curriculum vitae, right? It's basically the academics they have to feel better than other people, right? Like, I don't know what that shit is. Like, it bothers me, but they can't use the word resume. They have to use like, come on, guys. But like, I think we've talked about that before, having a master document of all the experiences that you have. Mm-hmm. So that's a whole category. That's not academic talks given. It's not papers written. It's not books. It's not, et cetera. That's workshop facilitation. But like, that's useful. You may not need to actually put that on a CV that you submit to somebody else, but capturing that as like, I did this, this was the date, this was the time. If you needed to, you could refer back. If you probably made notes on the stuff that you were going to talk about, right?
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
wrote a reflection too.
yeah. So guess what?
Yeah.
Right. You have a thing called, what is this, facilitation or something like that. That's why I gave you this thing, right? We should get one for Steve too.
Yeah.
So that you're not having to, right? Like you capture it, you put it in there, and then it's yours forever. You have your master document that is the reference, like it's a placeholder to say, I did this. And then you have your folder to, if you ever want to go back to those documents, you have it at the blink of a hat. This is where I'm a little bit upset with myself because I only gave you one filing cabinet. I should have given you.
I have too many filing cabinets, not enough material. Don't worry.
That's great. That's a good problem to have, man. That's a really, really good problem to have.
Yeah. Awesome.
Anyways.
Yeah.